Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely demystify a topic that honestly frustrates so many learners, the 12 English verb tenses. We're going to take what usually feels like this intimidating, endless list of grammar rules and turn it into a highly logical visual map of time. So if you've ever felt completely lost trying to figure out when you should use have been doing versus was doing, you are in the exact right place. Let's dive in. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the map of time, move into simple tenses as specific points, then continuous tenses as lengths of time. After that, we'll hit perfect tenses for that point before point logic, tackle the perfect continuous tenses, and finally wrap it all up with your brand new time machine. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the map of time. Let's understand these coordinates. You know, English actually relies pretty heavily on mathematical formulas to establish its coordinates. Take a base affirmative statement, like I work. To make it negative, we don't just drastically change the verb itself. Instead, we bring in a little helper, an auxiliary verb, to create I don't work. And to ask a question, we just flip that structure right around into do I work. Grasping these really reliable building blocks is exactly how we equip ourselves to travel through time. Moving right along to section 2. Simple tenses. These are our specific points. Picture simple tenses as just solid single dots on our timeline. We use them for specific, completely isolated points in time. Let's walk across the map real quick. In the past simple, it's a completed dot. I ate breakfast this morning. In the present simple, it's a routine dot happening right now. I eat breakfast every day. And in the future simple, it's a dot that hasn't even happened yet. I will eat breakfast later. They are totally distinct, standalone points. But to truly master this, we have to recognize the difference between a static fact and an active process. Look at I eat breakfast every day. That's a simple fact, right? Just a dot. But what if you call me and I literally have a mouthful of toast? I wouldn't use a simple point then. I would say, right now, I am eating breakfast. That requires a completely different shape on our map. Which brings us perfectly into section 3, continuous tenses, which are all about lengths of time. Continuous tenses, which you might sometimes hear called progressive tenses, describe a length of time. Mechanically, you achieve this stretch by combining an auxiliary be verb with an ing ending on your main verb. That one little addition literally stretches the action out across time. Notice how those single dots we just talked about have now stretched into horizontal arrows? Let's map these out too. A past continuous action spans a specific duration back in the past. I was eating breakfast. The present continuous is happening in this exact moment. I am eating breakfast. And the future continuous blocks out a chunk of time later on. I will be eating breakfast from 9 to 9:30. These aren't isolated points anymore. They're literal waves of time. Think about it this way. A simple tense gives us a solitary event. I ate. But a continuous tense, it paints this dynamic background scene. I was eating. And that sets the absolute perfect stage for another event to just interrupt it, like when my brother arrived. It adds such incredible cinematic detail to the way we communicate. All right, let's look at section 4, perfect tenses, the point before point. Okay, so perfect tenses introduce relativity. Basically, the act is sequencing tools. By combining have or has with a past participle, you're signaling to whoever is listening that one specific point in time definitively occurred before another point in time. It establishes a really clear order of operations. Check out those curved arrows jumping backward. This maps completion relative to another time. The past perfect shows an action totally finished before a past moment. I had already eaten when my brother arrived. The present perfect connects the past right up to now. I have already eaten. And the future perfect ensures an action will be totally done before a future deadline. I will have already eaten by the time you arrive. Without these perfect tenses, our facts just sit completely disconnected from each other. I ate breakfast. My brother arrived. We don't actually know the true relationship between those facts, but perfect tenses act as this essential linking chain. I had already eaten breakfast when my brother arrived takes those isolated statements and turns them into a rich, clearly sequenced narrative. Now for the big one, section 5, perfect continuous tenses. This is where we merge our concepts. We're taking that continuous stretch of time and we're pairing it with a definitive endpoint of a perfect tense. You use this to actually measure time leading up to a specific moment. Let's trace it out, whether that's I had been eating in the past, I have been eating leading up to right now, or I will have been eating leading right up to a future event. This specific structure captures incredibly complex scenarios with just perfect clarity. Look at this. I had been eating breakfast for 30 minutes when my brother arrived. You aren't just giving the order of events anymore. You're measuring exactly how long an ongoing action lasted right up until that interruption happened. It is the ultimate tool for precision in English. And that brings us to our final stop, Section 6, Your New Time Machine. Here is your complete time machine in all its glory. Across the past, present, and future columns, you can finally see the underlying logic of all the shapes. The simple dots, the continuous waves, the perfect retroactive jumps, and those perfect continuous lead-ups. From I study English as a basic simple fact, all the way to I had been studying English as a rich historical timeline, this matrix totally proves that English verb tenses aren't just random, frustrating rules. They are a highly systematic and totally navigable map. So, with this visual logic in your back pocket, you are no longer just memorizing disconnected grammar rules from a dusty textbook. You are literally navigating time itself. You actually understand the shapes of these sentences now. So, taking this incredible new map out into the real world, I'll leave you with this final thought. What story will you tell next? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.